Welcome English 2, sophomore English. My name is Miss Dinkel. A lot of you guys probably know me because I was a freshman teacher last year, so I may have even had some of you. In fact, a lot of you guys are very familiar to me on my roster. So I'm happy that I will be seeing some familiar faces and also excited to meet some new people. So things are very different this year, and we're going to do our best to navigate through these uncharted waters. I'm here in the classroom waiting for you guys to come. It's very empty and lonely. So I'm just going to get right into this so you guys don't have to spend too much of your time on your videos. The first thing I want to talk about is myself. I'm Miss Dinkel. I've been at Saguaro for 4 years. I've been teaching this will be my 10th. I used to teach middle school, so I really appreciate you big kids and how mature and responsible you are. I am originally from North Dakota, but I've lived in Arizona for about 12 years now, and I love it. It's much better weather, even though as I'm recording this, it's like 112 degrees outside, but a lot better than, negative 112, which is what it feels like in North Dakota in the winter. So you'll hear me talk about our terrible winters in North Dakota pretty often. So I graduated with my bachelor's degree. I double majored in English and communication from the University of North Dakota. And then when I moved to Arizona, I got my master's in secondary ed from ASU. So I'm an ASU fan as well as a University of North Dakota Fighting Hawks fan. So you'll see some decorations around my room from each of those schools. I guess the other thing to talk about is my home life. I have a fur baby named Tarzan. You'll hear me talk about him, and some of you guys might remember him from when I had you as a freshman. And I got married this last summer, not this summer, luckily, because I probably would have had to postpone it. But we got married in Jamaica, and it was really, really fun. So if we have some free time, maybe I'll show you guys some pictures from that wedding. And other than that, the big news I have is that I'm going to be having a baby this year. My baby is due in December. So if we happen to come back in person, that's something I will not be able to hide. So I'll just get that out of the way right now. And I'm very excited. It'll be my first baby. So I'll probably be very scared, and maybe I'll ask you guys for some advice. Who knows? All right, so I'm going to get right into this presentation and let you guys get out of here. So this is sophomore English. If you are not a sophomore and you're not in my class, this would be period 7. I only have one class, so you guys are all in the same class hour. So if that's not you, go find the video you're supposed to watch. All right, here we go. The class information here is basically we're going to be working on everything: critical thinking, composition, comprehension skills, vocabulary, writing, reading, and just being able to communicate and have class discussions. We're going to be exploring the overall theme of the human experience. That's a very broad theme. It's more like a motif. So we're going to be refining that through elements of fiction, informational texts, writing, which you can't see, or I can't see it anyway, and language. We have a lot of really great texts. I'm going to try to incorporate a lot of diversity in our readings this year. And we're going to try our hardest to really relate to some of these texts and some of the stories that we hear and figure out how they fit into our life and into our time period. I know that we're living through a very weird time period, so it might, think about your regular life, pre and post COVID. All right. So some of this stuff is going to relate more to when we're back in the classroom, so I'll try to distinguish that. So of course, quarter 1, we're going to start online. And we're going to be focusing on just the foundations. So we'll acquire a lot of vocab, talk about story elements. A lot of it will be review for you guys. We'll kind of take it up a notch. But just trying to get back into the swing of how stories and pieces of writing work. So we're going to be reading The House on Mango Street, and all of the novels that I found this year are going to be available online. So you'll find links on those as soon as this weekend on your Google Classroom. And I'll show you the code for that at the end of this presentation. So you could always get an early start once those are posted. Quarter 2, we're going to be reading Macbeth. That is a Shakespeare story. So we will be writing an argumentative essay based on Macbeth, and we'll be having a Socratic seminar, kind of like a debate style Socratic seminar. Okay. Quarter 3, we're going to be reading Siddhartha, and that's kind of a story about becoming enlightened, and which kind of means that you know all and see all. You've had all the life experiences, but this will be kind of takes an unexpected turn. And for that, we will be doing our research essay. This is wrong. This is not a debate. I'll fix that before I put this on Google Classroom. But you're going to be actually doing a presentation in this quarter. All right, and then quarter 4 is your final quarter, of course, and you will be reading The Kite Runner. This was a very popular novel when it came out. I wouldn't even doubt if a lot of your parents have read it, so they might be really interested in kind of maybe having discussions with you about this novel. And you'll be finishing up a personal narrative that we actually start in the first quarter and kind of develop throughout the school year. And that's our class year at a glance. The required materials for when you're in school are these right here, not very many. Of course, now that you're at home, your major required material is your computer. So make sure that you got one from the school. Of course, you probably can't be watching this if you don't have one. So just make sure you have these things. A notebook is very important, which you'll find out in a moment. Take a picture of this, write it down, pause me if you need to get a piece of paper and pen. But this is your Google Classroom code. You guys are probably all familiar with how to join Google Classroom, but you probably heard about the Buzz platform that we're using, where you'll kind of go as your starting base, and then there will be a link to Google Classroom from there, which will require this code, but the code will also be on Buzz. And you can get to it from there too if you're unfamiliar with how to do that. These weekly vocab quizzes I am going to be implementing while we are online, but they typically work the way that I typically do them is in class, where you'll come in on Monday and you'll see all the words on the board, and I'll give you a few minutes to write them all down. And then your quiz will be on Friday, but since this is online, I'm going to open up the quiz on Monday so that you guys can take it any day of the week in case you have a lot of quizzes on Friday already. This won't, jam you up in that sense. And we will only have those on Monday through Friday weeks. If it's a short week, we're just going to forget about them. Okay, and this is more applicable again to when we are in class, but you are going to be able to do this at home too. All of your tests that I give you, not the district. So the district gives you your standardized tests and your I guess my vocab quizzes will not be open note either, but your standardized tests and your benchmarks will not be open note, but every test that I create and give to you will be open note. So at the beginning of each new kind of topic or unit, we'll be taking a lot of notes. We'll probably add to them a little bit throughout the quarter, but it's really important to have those all in one place so that you can have them when the test comes. Some tests might be timed, so you don't want to be flipping through, tons and tons of PowerPoints while you're taking it. This pretty much applies to when you are in person. You will have homework while you are online, since you only have 3 hours of class per day and I only see you every other day. So when you come back to class, there won't be a ton of homework. We're going to try and accomplish everything in class. Anybody who's not getting stuff done in class when we come back is probably not using their time wisely. And if you have questions, this is the best email address to reach me at. You're going to find on Google Classroom. Sorry, I have Buzz, I have Google Classroom, so I'm going to try to keep these straight. You'll find on Google Classroom, I will also be using Remind this quarter, or this school year, which means that you'll be able to text me without us having to exchange phone numbers. So that information will be on Google Classroom shortly. And once we really get into the swing of things, you'll probably want to utilize that a little bit more. So we will go over that. And that's really the end of the presentation. You guys can feel free to email me in the meantime if you have any questions. And other than that, I really look forward to seeing you guys on Monday. And I know that we're starting like so suddenly and so fast, but we're going to spend the first week really just getting to know each other and taking things really super slowly. All right, so I will let you guys go then.